Guys and girls, I'm back at Into Moto and they've just had a delivery of some absolute stunning bikes. That is one of them, but that's not today's review. That will appear maybe next time. That's the 350 Lambretta, but that is just one of the beauties that have been dropped off. Today, however, it's something a little bit bigger. It's something that it's had quite a lot of hype. I know a lot of people were looking at it at the ABR festival when I was there. Let's just have a look. Today's beauty. It's only the big Voge, the new Voge, the DS800X Rally. I've been waiting a while for this one. I seen it at ABR. I didn't get a chance to have a ride of it then, but today's the day. So let's have a look around it the usual way. We'll go over the spec sheet and then I'm taking it for a ride. You'll notice it's already got a bit of dirt on it, and that's because that's just where these bikes live. They live in the dirt, don't they? Or this one will today. Might have to find a little off-road track to play on. But before we do any of that, let's have a look round and I'll throw some figures at you. So if you've seen one of these already, they have been knocking about the last couple of weeks in the showrooms. If you went to ABR and you were lucky enough to get a ride on these, this is actually one of those bikes. This has been at the ABR, probably explains the mud and stuff that's all over it. But these bikes are so sought after at the minute. Every YouTuber wants to get a go on one. The orders are coming in thick and fast, I believe. From last time I spoke to them, near enough all of the first batch have been sold. So if this is something you want, you've got to be bloody quick. Let's talk wheels, let's talk brakes. So this comes with a 21-inch front wheel. It's got 2 discs and you've got twin port Nissan calipers. So good spec. It also comes with a Scorpion STR tyres. At the rear there is an 18-inch wheel with a Scorpion STR tyre, and you've also got the single disc and a single port Nissan caliper. This bike comes with a 24-litre fuel tank, and I've said it before about Voges. This is one of the things that really impresses me with Voge, is all of the standard equipment. So what you've got with every single one that comes out the warehouse is fog lights, standard. You've got these engine guards. You've got an aluminium bash plate at the bottom. There's a rear rack. It is currently on the side stand, but there is also a center stand. Now, this for me is one of the, again, key selling points of this bike. This is not just a nice bike with loads of fancy kit. It's actually got some power to it as well. So it's got 94 horsepower. That translates to 70 kilowatts. It delivers 81 newton meters of torque at 9,000 revs. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It sounds like a beast. I hope it rides like one. KYB adjustable suspension. The rotary steering damper. It is of course a chain drive. It does come with these knuckle guards. This is where short person and weak person problems come in, because it is a big bike. It's got an 850mm seat height, so it's a tall bike as well. I'm going to throw my leg over shortly, but before I do that I want to talk weight. It's also 213 kilograms, which, yeah, there are heavier bikes out there, but this one, trying to walk uphill, yeah, it's not too bad actually. It rolls easily enough. It's just a tall, big bike So it's not particularly heavy, if I'm honest, for moving it, but it's just the sheer size of it just makes it a little bit awkward. Something you'd have to get used to. If you're used to adventure bikes, it won't be a problem for you. If you're used to enduro bikes, big tall bikes, it'll just feel like a heavy version of one of those. Now I'm sat on here, I thought it was going to be a lot taller. I'm on the balls of my feet, I can't get my heels down, but that's just a typical adventure bike. I'm the same on all of them. I'm 5'8" with a 29-inch inseam, so all adventure bikes are like this. Yeah, it actually feels quite comfortable. As I've said, short legs, but I'm on the balls of my feet. So if you're around my height, you're going to be fine. If you're taller, not a problem. If, however, you are smaller, if your legs are shorter, if you're thinking about one of these, go and sit on one first, because as I've said, they're kind of at what I would call the limit for me as far as height goes. Any taller, I'd be like a ballet dancer on it and I wouldn't feel comfortable, but this is all right. Pegs, nice central position, and with these pegs they do have a rubber insert that comes out, so if you are off-roading you can get a little bit more grip there for standing up. Good touch. Yeah, typical adventure bike position. What you've got is a nice backup straight. The bars do feel quite far away from me, if I'm perfectly honest, and they are quite wide, so I haven't really got much of a bend in my arm. If I want to keep my back up straight, then I am stretching for it. Again, I'm a short guy, so if you're bigger, that won't be an issue. But if you're shorter, again, it's just something to consider if you're considering one of these bikes. But it does feel comfortable. The seat is wide, but not too wide. It does, however, feel fairly hard, the seat. It doesn't feel like the usual kind of plush seats that you get from Voge. Speaking of seats though, it's another heated seat from Voge. Again, as standard. Now, what bike manufacturers out there actually give you stuff like that at no additional costs? There's not many. Most of them will have different or various different packs that you can get. You can get the heated pack, you can get the sports pack, you can get the whatever pack. You get all of these packs cost money, but not with Voge. It's all thrown in. So heated seats and heated grips, standard. Rear seat, it's not a massive rear seat, but it's big enough to have a pillion on the back. And as part of the rack, you've got these grab handles as well. So yeah, perfect for anybody who wants to jump on the back. You do have the rear pegs as well. And let's talk buttons. So there are a lot on here because, as you'd expect, I've just been telling you all the stuff Voge throw in, so there's a lot of things to play with. You have got your horn, your indicators, you've got a cursor for your screen for menus and things, so you've got a back, up and enter, you've got up and down, you've got a traction control button, because yes, this does come with traction control, but it is an off-road type bike as well, so yes, you can turn the traction control off if you take it off-road. There are hazard warning lights. We have got your heated grips and your heated seat button, and then you've got your flash button. So there's a hell of a lot going on, but I like how they've spaced them out. So for instance, you shouldn't knock your heated seat button when you're going for your indicators, or your horn when you're going for your heated grips or whatever. The buttons are kind of spread out a lot, so yeah, you've got quite a gap between each one. Right hand side, definitely more than your usual. So your fog lights are over here, so those front LED fog lights, brilliant for some extra visibility. You've got your engine start and your engine cut off. There is a mode button. This comes with two different modes. You've got road and sport, and there's an ABS button as well. So definitely more than the standard on this side. But again, I like that because A lot of other manufacturers would either put those things into the menu somewhere and you'd have to search for them, or they'd load the other side up, which just means you've just got far too many buttons on the other side. So yeah, I like how they've done that. Let's have a look at the screen while we're here. Now, if it's anything like the 900, I'm really impressed with that. What we've got here is a 7-inch TFT screen, and it actually looks really, really nice. We can change screens. You can have that one, or you can have normal. You've got your rev counter going round. You've got your nice prominent speed out. There is total miles, there's trip computers, there's gear indicators, there's fuel gauges, there's engine temperatures, there's air temperatures, there's clocks. Lots of information on here. And look at that, you can also connect your smartphone. So I know this is a controversial point and a lot of people will argue why you shouldn't have things like this, but you can control stuff like your music via the smartphone connectivity. Again, I'm not going to debate that with you. For me personally, that was a lifesaver on my tour, because when you're riding 1,000 miles on your own, you've got no one to talk to for hours and hours in the saddle. A bit of music actually keeps you sane. So you do have that option for this bike. It also comes with tyre pressure monitors built in, so if you do happen to lose any air in your tyres, you will be informed about it. There is a USB port, and you've got two of them as well. So you've got the USB and the USB-C. So yeah, got you covered for both there. Now, here's the mind-blowing thing for me. If you're interested in one of these bikes, you know how cheap they are already. Now, in the UK, these are currently for sale for £6,999, and then you've got the on-the-road costs, which they are, if I'm not mistaken, they're about £200, £250, something like that, and that covers your registration with the DVLA and all of those things to basically register the bike. So that's what it's for. So you're talking a little over £7,000 for a bike like this that is kitted out with all of this stuff, that has got 94 horsepower, that basically could well be a Yamaha Tenere killer, because those, I'm pretty certain, have less horsepower. They do. The Yamaha's only got 72. Big difference. And I've seen issues on those bikes. I've seen issues online about people having problems with them. Obviously this is a new bike, so before anyone comments, let's see what it looks like in 2 years and you can't beat a Japanese bike and all that stuff. I get all that and I understand where you're coming from. What I'm saying is, this seems to be competition for the Yamaha Tenere, and everything that I've seen with this bike and everything I've heard about the Tenere, I would say this could well be a better bike. I know, fight me in the comments if you want, but it seems to have more kit on it. It seems much better for a shorter rider, because I struggle sitting on a Tenere. They are just like ridiculously tall. So this is certainly a better fit for me, but it's the price, saving thousands of pounds. The difference in price between these and the Tenere is obscene. So if you went for the basic Tenere, you would be saving around £3,000 to £3,500 by getting the 800 Rally. And if you went for a top spec Tenere, you'd be saving about £5,000 between getting one of those and the Rally. So why would you? Because the Voge has got more kit on it. No brainer. Mind-blowing. Anyway, that's the walk around done. You can tell I'm impressed, I'm giddy. I just want to get out and try this bike. I've been wanting to try it for weeks, so the time's come. Let me get me helmet and gloves on and we're going for a ride. Stay with me. As you've seen on the walk round, this bike has been used. It is one of, I think there's only like a couple of them in the country at the minute, and this is one of the bikes that was used at ABR, so it has been taken up the trails and everything else. So yes, it's a little bit dirty. No, I've not cleaned it, but to be fair, this is a real world test on a brand new model. You know, these bikes have been used, and they've been used a lot. I'm very guilty of watching reviews on YouTube about them, because that's how excited I was to actually get a go on one of these. There's a really good one on, I think it's Bike World. Yeah, he absolutely thrashes one in Wales, I think it is. He goes on like an enduro track and all sorts. It looks immense off-road. He's clearly a much better rider than me, so there'll be none of that today. I'm just going to test it out as I would use my own bike. So I'm going to do some road riding. I'm going to take it down a gravel track, something like that. I'm not going to be jumping it, I'm not going to be doing any of that, mainly because I am not capable of doing any of that, but I'm going to use it like I'd use my bike, is what I'm getting at. So let's go. First stand-up test on this. Now that is perfect for me. Standing up on this, absolutely no issues. I'm not stretching for the bars, slight bend in the arm. Yeah, that is really good. I love the 900, but do I love this more? Well, I guess we'll find out by the end of this ride. There isn't a quick shifter on this, so round the roundabout, yeah, all right. Oh, little bit of gravel. Let's do some standing up. And no, I'm not being beaten by a mobility scooter. Absolutely not. I'm really impressed, actually. I know there's going to be the hardcore off-roaders out there that are going to go, oh, come on, you're on a little gravel track. But let's just put something into perspective here. Me, as a adventure bike rider, this is kind of the off-road riding I would do on something like this. I've seen a few videos where people are properly thrashing them and jumping them and all sorts, and they're just capable of doing it. I'm not, however, and that's my point, is that this type of road that we've got here, which is, you know, just like a typical farm track, a bit of a dirt road, quite a lot of potholes, quite a lot of loose stone, quite a lot of just bumps and lumps, and yeah, no issues. I just need to stretch its legs a little bit. We need to go a little bit faster. Yeah, it's that noise. The noise on this bike is just, it's brilliant. Now this is the thing, trying to find the heated things with my gloves on is actually quite difficult. Now I'm trying to feel for them, because the buttons themselves, they're not very like substantial, they're like very small, and you can't really feel. Oh, there you go. Yeah, the buttons don't move much, so it's not like a click, so trying to like get them when you're riding is a bit of a faff. Let me oh, it's cheeky, it's very, very cheeky. Yeah, do you know, the sound of this is just, it's immense. I love the sound. When you wind it on that little bit, you just get the drama to go with it, and it's proper nice. That is one thing, it just wipes the floor with the 900 version, which is just a lot more subtle. And it is, you give that some, and even with the Scorpion exhaust change on those bikes, it just doesn't have the same amount of drama, and it doesn't give you the same buzz. It feels a lot more luxurious to ride, though, I will give it that. you want a Yamaha Tenere, or would you like an 800 rally and a 300 rally and probably some change as well? What would your decision be? The heated seat and the heated grips work really, really well. I can feel the heat coming through the grips. Backside wise, I actually feel like I'm sat on a barbecue at this moment in time. I feel like I am a burger. My arse is just a burger at this moment in time. I feel like it's sizzling on the seat. It's so bloody hot. Yeah, that is certainly warming up my gentleman's area on my backside. So yeah, I can confirm it works. I can also confirm it's not needed on a day like today, because yeah, my arse is burning. And as far as like your adventure bikes go at this price point, there isn't really many, I would say, that are on the same level as this, that I would put them in the same bracket as. I mean, if you think price wise, this is priced like the cheap adventure bikes. We're talking like the Benelli TRK, the 702. In fact, no, you can't even compare it to that, because this is just a monster in comparison to that. Price wise, the 702 is probably the closest to it, but power wise, this has got bloody a shed load more. Yeah, just coming to a stop there. Just use the back brake just to see how that works independently, and yeah, it's fine. You should be able to hear the exhaust. In fact, I'm going to put my visor up. Hopefully you can hear it a little bit better if you haven't heard it much. You might suffer with a little bit of wind, but I'll show you what I mean when it comes to the noise, because I didn't think about that before. Oh, I'm a big kid, but you get what I mean. The acceleration on this is really, really good, as you would expect for the horsepower figures and torque figures, but you've got the drama as well. You've got exactly what I like in a bike. You've got that little buzz that you get when you give it a little bit. You're getting the acceleration, you're getting the thrill of that, along with the music from the exhaust as well, that just gives you that little bit of a smile. It's certainly giving me a little bit of a smile today. It's just a shame I've got to take it back. Very similar power figures to the 900, very, very similar, but it's only £6,999, and it's more off-road biased, and it just looks like a Tenere type bike that is just got more horsepower, that is loads cheaper, that has more tech, so everybody is jumping on it. And I mean everybody. You'd have already seen, I could list off a couple of the massive YouTube channels. I watch them myself, I'm a fan myself. Loads of the considerably bigger channels. I don't know if Itchy Boots has had a go on one as well, but you've got all of those really big channels that have had a go on this, and you've still got all of these others that are chomping at the bit to have a go on one, and I can understand why. That was the Voge 900 I took out not long ago, but I think that bike is definitely more of a road bias, beautiful adventure bike, whereas this is more of a bike to get dirty. And if you're interested, Into Moto are selling all Voges, so if it's a bike you're interested in, I'll put a link in the description. I'm actually quite impressed. That one much better on the road, much more comfortable bike I think for the road. This one, it growls a little bit more on the road, it feels like a little bit more of an animal on the road. Which one would you pick? Let me know in the comments. That's going to do me. I'm going to sadly give the keys back to Into Moto. If you're interested, link in the description. Laters.